and welcome to TWR Facebook Live. So this morning we have a few question and answers. So before I go into question and answers, I wanted to talk a little bit about some reflections that I did on the basis on many of your wonderful comments and feedbacks that everybody has shared. So today's actual title is the meditation on clear light while asleep, question and answer. So basically it's more question and answer. So I know, like looking at all the beautiful comments that all of you have done, so I can see some of you are having great experiences and some of you are having, some improvement, some development, and some of you are having some challenges, and obviously that is very, very normal. So we are so many people practicing and from so many different backgrounds and so many different situations in our life and so many different level of understanding practice and maturity of the practices. So obviously there are going to be many different experiences, response. But one thing I would say that is that we all are recognizing something. We are recognizing that importance of the sleep yoga practice, recognizing importance to sleep well, recognizing how sleep is important, how resting well is important, and so also recognizing that how badly we sleep, how challenging time we have in the sleep, how maybe sometime how bad quality sleep we have, how many different kind of how many ignorance that we have before we go to sleep, or how many unprocessed thoughts and emotions that we carry on in our sleep. So we're also recognizing our conditions, weakness, problems, and that is in itself, I think, is very important, because recognizing that it's something that now it's a beginning to change something. Because if you don't recognize who you are not, you will not recognize who you are. If you don't recognize your conditions, you will not recognize your liberations. If you don't recognize your weakness, it will be difficult to recognize your strength. So somehow willing to face, willing to recognize, willing to acknowledge, willing to accept, accommodate, and work and process and clear our conditions and emotions, weaknesses, I think is a fundamental, very, very important. I feel that many of you already are in a good process, that you are doing that. Even though you're facing challenges, you're recognizing your challenges. How often you face those exact same challenges, but you totally ignore next morning, not even reflect on it, not even trying to do anything about it. So I think in some sense, all good. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to sleep better, we are trying to rest deeper, we are trying to be more joyful when we wake up, we're trying to be in a better mood when we wake up. So some sense of changes in a positive I think is happening to all of you, on all of us. So also that you can see that many of us, or many of you, that very often an average sense that we have, the type of dreams that we have, it's a very mundane dream, a very samsaric dream, very, in a way, sometimes very negative dream. There are some research findings that says that the people who have positive dreams and then later it turn out to be more negative. So there are more people who dream turn from positive to negative than negative to positive. So basically change from negative dream to a positive dream, unaware dream to aware dream, it's much harder than the other way around. But I clearly see that, if you look at yourself, you can clearly see that very frequently we have a lot of dreams that which is very much mundane and samsaric dream, in which we are totally lost, totally disconnected. And so if you look at yourself, if you listen to around, you see that, you hear that. But if you look at now a couple of nights or a couple of maybe weeks since we have been engaging in these practices, you can begin to look, some of you are changing already. Changing means that you might be dreaming a little bit more spiritual practices, more sacred symbols, dreaming temples, dreaming sacred images, dreaming being with right people, being with your teachers, mentors, your friends, and then also kind of recognizing certain dreams that you have. If it's very difficult or fearful, you're recognizing them as a dream. So basically, there is much more changes even in your samsaric dreams, even in your conditional dreams or normal dreams. There's images are changing, the stories are changing, the feelings are changing. So these changes are also brought simply because we are in conversation right now. I'm right now talking with all of you about dreams. I'm talking about sleep. I'm talking about our weaknesses, our strength. I'm talking about our conditions and our potentiality. I'm talking about our mundane dream, then our more spiritual oriented dream, dream of fear rather than dream of hope rather than the dream of fear. So there are already changes in your dream. So I think that's also something that's important to recognize, especially, I know like not all of you have, but those you do have, those you do recognizes changes in your dream, that is also important. You recognize, oh, something is changing in my dream. I begin to, for example, for me, when I dream about my teachers, when I dream about temple, when I dream about in retreat, practicing, playing instruments, and those are dreams, are much better dream than I am driving stuck in the traffic and stuck in a kind of difficult situations in my ordinary life. so I was just trying to point out that even in our samsaric dreams are changing, even your ordinary samsaric dreams are changing. So some people say something like, one of students, Balbina Ray, she was sharing her dream and her sleep yoga practice. So last 15 days that some health challenges, and 15 days that she did not sleep well. Yesterday was first time in last 15 days she slept well. So just think about that. Sleeping well, it does not necessarily mean lucid dream, does not mean dream of, I say, clear light sleep, does not mean anything. But at least sleeping well because of the practices what you're trying to do, that is very important message. Because most of the time throughout the day, our state of mind, state of emotion, state of how we see the world, we are kind of different. We see differently, we interact differently, produce different kind of stresses and karmas, patterns we produce. And so as a result of that, when we go to sleep, we forget about the practice. We're just having a difficult to even go to sleep properly, sleep better, sleep with more clarity, sleep with more calmness, peacefulness, even which face just not challenges to have that. So not to always think about very big goals, but think about some small steps toward that big goal. I think that's very, very important. So Balbina's, I think it was kind of very important. So after 15 days, we was having first time go to sleep. Wonderful. Just thank to the sleep goddess, thank to these practices, thanks to the Cyber Sangha collective that we are all supporting each other. So these are like some, I think it's very, very important to reflect that. So we, of course, sometimes there are things that you can do. For example, time to time, we having a difficult time to sleep, just not because of our practice or any condition, sometimes even just uncomfortable bed or very disturbing day, or even simple as too much food. That's what happened to me yesterday. You know, kind of evening socializing with some friends, and having a little bit, they order quite a bit of food, and the hungry ghost in me kind of grabbing those foods. And so I can clearly see that I ate too much. So just simple as that, as a result of that, and I just having, you know, just it's kind of disturbed my sleep a little bit. So just simple as that. So sometime avoiding heavy foods, too much alcohol, too much painful, conflicting conversations, or too much maybe checking with the mails or emails when you know you're not expecting some good news, or you know you're having this ongoing unresolved conversation with somebody or something like that. So just take a break from those things. Heavy food, take break from heavy food, heavy people, heavy feelings, heavy situation. Just take a break before, and just think about going to sleep as a very sacred journey, entering into the sacred temple, which is your heart is like a sacred temple, and entering into that sacred space and sacred light, which is your inner space and inner awareness. So those are, I think, very, very important to kind of think. So it's just sometimes very simple, but I think it's kind of very important points. So maybe I'll just go through a few of the questions here that people have. So somebody says, I'm practicing every night, but I notice it is difficult for me to fall asleep easily. Maybe I'm too concentrated on the practice, or I put too much effort, or is it kind of grasping? So basically, I think anything in life, don't put too much effort. Anything in life, think about that. Places where you put too much effort in your life right now, they are difficult. Think about places you're trying to put too much in your practices, in meditation, they don't work well. Or same way, when before you go to sleep, you put too much effort in your practice, it will not work, particularly when you're trying to go to sleep. So, no. So think about this. When you have to visualize something before you go to sleep, I say something like this. See it, like if I'm trying to see an image, a sphere of light or peaceful, see it, feel it, become it, and be free from it, dissolve it. Like when you visualize a white when before you go to sleep, you see the you feel the you become that means you become that awareness, and you let go of that image, and means you allow yourself to fall asleep. So it's a very typical problem that people focus and put too much effort on a symbol, and neither meditation work, definitely it will interfere your sleep. So don't fight with or don't fight with the sacred image. Don't fight with yourself. Don't fight with the practice, and you will always lose if you do so. So yes, absolutely, and maybe you are maybe grasping too much, putting too much effort. So just trying to take it easy, calm down, and yeah, uh, and maybe just recognize then when you're doing that, and just breathe it out. Breathe it out when you see when you're breathing it out, sending the. I always say, breathe it out, and to all the I say the tensions that you are feeling in that moment. Breathe out tensions that you are feeling in that moment. You recognize as in the process of going to sleep or in meditation. That's all you do. Second question. So I practice daily. Sometimes I fall asleep before I finish. Do I need to sleep in a lying pose on the right or left? Is it okay to have pillow between my hand and head? So first, so if you, I don't know what exactly you mean by saying I fall asleep before the practice. So somehow during the practice you should fall asleep. So somehow last point of attention, last image, last feeling, last contact should be those, practice, your practice. That space, that awareness, or that freedom, that light should be the last contact. Or so some sense, I think it's okay, maybe some sense related with the first question. So don't put too much effort, and the last images, as long as the last images are the images that you are supposed to focus on, or last thoughts and feelings, emotions are that you are supposed to have, then it's okay to fall asleep. It's okay to lose it. Because your awakened mind is losing that connection, but more like unconscious awareness, more subtle awareness is continuously remains connected. So don't. I think one should not worry about it. So the third question: when you say sphere of light at the third eye, do you mean the sphere of awareness, warmth, space, or light like a flame, or light like a light bulb? So basically, when I say sphere of light, basically what in Tibetan we say tigle, and in Sanskrit we say bindu, like a small ball of light, like a bulb, small bulb, like could be maybe like one of these things, right? But this is a little too big. But the small sphere of light, a small, a round one, and generally everything we visualize like either is a symbol, syllable, or state of mind, or light, or wind, whatever. When we visualize something, it basically it seems like saying that such energy exists in our body. Like when we're saying such energy exists in there, and because we cannot visually see that, or we cannot experience fully through our mind, and so visual image actually helps to activate its intensity of feeling more, so that we can experience something exists there. So these visual images, I think it's more like a support to it exists there, or it's supposed to bring it into more like a life. So sphere of light is basically, that's what it's trying to do, is that in the third eye there is that sense of clarity, light, and so you're trying to, by visualizing that sphere of light, you're trying to bring that clarity of expansion more in life, so that before you go to sleep, you are not sleeping in your sense of loss, you're not sleeping in ignorance, you're not sleeping in doubt, you're not sleeping in confusion. Rather, you are sleeping in that sense of freedom, openness, which is that space which is illuminated by this sphere of light the energy that you are feeling in the forehead. So in some sense, I think simply that is what is happening, and that's what you're trying to do. So the fourth question is the home meditation with the breathe accompanying during the sleep? So basically, the home. So when we're doing this home, sending out from our nostril as a luminous home. So I think the question is that breath is going out with it. So does the breath is involved with the breath or not? I think that's what the question is. So generally in the teaching, it does not specify in a Maju, in a Mada Tantra, it does not specify that it need to accompany with the breath or not. But I think do either way. But I think accompanying with the breath, I think it will be very good. I feel I do try when I sleep. For example, as I was mentioning, that we're having kind of a little bit interrupted my sleep a few times yesterday night, and during that time, whatever, I just immediately I look inside myself and I see whatever discomfort is there because of my physical condition, and affecting my energy, affecting my wind and my mind, affecting my dream. So if there is anything that I can detect something in terms of my mind and emotions which is related with the wind, I can easily be conscious, be aware, not fight, not struggle, not get upset, but simply breathe it out. Simply breathe it out, clear it. Like if I, like in a room where I feel like it's hot, suffocating, too much heat, dry, and if I'm feeling it's affecting me and I don't like it, when I notice that, instead of saying I hate this heat, I hate this temperature, getting angry, upset, no, I just recognize that. I just get up, I open my window, and let a little fresh breeze come in, and that's it. Just simple action of awareness in that moment. It's necessary. No emotion, no negative emotion, no struggle, no effort is necessary at that moment. Simple action of awareness, go back to sleep. Simple action of awareness will be when you notice something like that, use your breath and breathe it out. So yes, the simple answer is yes. And if you find it a little difficult, then don't worry about it. Just visualize it. So the question number 5 is about, I wonder if action during sleep produces karmic seeds. In other words, is everything permitted during sleep, or are moral value valid? Are moral value valid? So of course, in some sense that I think, at least my opinion, moral value valid, because any moment of your existence, either it's the day or night, either you're conscious or unconscious, either you're lucid or non-lucid dreams, every time there is an effect, it affects you, it affects your karma, it affects, if it's for example, if you have a lucid dream, if you have a virtuous dream, if you have a compassion dream, if you have a dream of clear light, if those all have a positive karmic consequences, if those help to develop your meditation, your view, or if those help to develop your produce virtues, merit. So if you're producing merit, if you're cultivating your wisdom, that means same way when you are doing something wrong, or you are getting angry, or you are upset with someone, then naturally it has a negative consequences. But the only thing is, probably it's not the same level of effect. If you're yelling at somebody, if you're yelling at your, I don't know, your boss, in sleep, you won't be fired or you won't have trouble with, at least not very obvious way. You will not have problem. But if you do the same thing in your waking state in front of your boss, you know you will be in trouble, right? So that the consequences are there, but not the same way. So I think again the answer, simple answer for your question is there is consequences for whatever happens in your dream and your sleep. So number 6. So I usually find practice like this very helpful in clearing of obstacles. But the problem I am experiencing at the moment seems grow more solid, painful, and stuck when I focus on them and trying to bring them to the point of light in my forehead. So first of all, I've never said that you need to focus on those kind of effort and negativity and bring into the light here. No. So it's important that I clarify that you do want to be conscious of before you go to sleep, because it's like being aware. You walk into the room. For example, if you go into your bedroom, you wanted to make sure that your bed there is not 100,000 things on your bed. All the laundry clothes are on your bed. You wanted to, a box is on the bed, a computer is on your bed. So you want to take out the computer, the wires out, the laundry is out, maybe some cups and plates on your bed, take out whatever was on the bed, you clean them out. It's very natural to do. Same way, when you're trying to go to sleep, just trying to be aware a little bit of in your body is still calm enough, or your energy field is calm and peaceful enough, or your mind is calm and peaceful enough. If not, then what is there? What discomfort is there? And it's like a very effortless way of kind of observing, noticing discomforts in your body, in your mind, and through the practice, through the awareness, just breathing out, as I've said many times. For example, right this moment, as I'm speaking, you're not going to the bed. Maybe you are in some part of the world. In Europe, the early people who go to bed early, you might be in your bed already watching. That's the nice thing about the Facebook Live, right? During the teaching time and during the retreat, we say, no feet toward the shrine. But here, you are lying down completely in your bed and nobody cares. So you are lying down. Maybe you already are sleeping, and you are noticing that discomfort in your body or discomfort in your field of energy, in your mind. Just simply notice that. Or those you are not necessarily lying down in your bed, but sitting upward, listening to me here. So just this very moment, look inward, not particularly focus on me. Look inward. What you're feeling. If there's any discomfort feelings, just notice, but not fight. Breathe it out. Notice, breathe it out. Notice, breathe it out. Don't fight. You don't have to even analyze. And be aware of that stillness. that silence, and rest like a baby in the loving arms of mother. The truth is your mother. The sacred space is your mother. You can never be you. You are always you. Recognizing you, your being, it's beautiful. Just resting there. Okay, so I think what I'm trying to say is just recognizing the effort, letting go of those efforts. But obviously, if there is something that you feel like your ability to, uh, for example, let's say this way, we let's give an example of a person who is very good at ignoring things, who does not acknowledge one's pain, who does not acknowledge the conflict, the disturbances one is feeling, one's pain, and who is able to ignore and go to sleep. Of course, bad sleep, bad dream, nightmare, but able to ignore and like to ignore and getting used to ignoring it, and not recognizing ignoring and having nightmare is a bad thing, not recognizing that, but recognizing when you're trying to work with it, when you feel a little bit challenged working with it, you feel it's a problem. But when you're ignoring it, and then have problem, you don't think that is a problem. You see, there are people like that. I repeat this again. There are people who ignores everything. They still have the problem, but then don't see that problem as much a problem. But when they are trying to face something, and they face some challenge initially, and they see that as a problem. But truth is, that is not a problem. Truth is, that is the beginning of resolving problem. The first one, ignoring and having problem, is a problem and will be problem continuously. And that is, I think, something that's important to recognize, because it's a little bit harder probably in the beginning to confront, but it's better in a long run, right? So let's see. Okay, I think maybe we can do a short practice here. Okay, maybe I just answer a few more questions. So somebody is saying, I wonder, to whom do you pray? That's a question for me. Is asking yesterday. I mentioned a little bit about praying is a very important, and personally, of course, my personal relation to understanding and value of prayer has increased over the years. There was a time I did not pray very much. There was a time so let's say this way, that does not mean I did not practice. I practiced since I was around age 10, 11, sitting in a contemplation with my teacher, Yonzun Buche, when I was around 10 years old, 11 years old. I sat with Yonzun Buche, Lobentenzinam Buche, my teacher, and with whom, in the evenings we used to sit in a room before go to bed. We used to meditate, and sometimes very, how you say, hot summer, and as a very young age, it's kind of very hard to stay awake and meditating and abiding in the nature of mind. And I fall asleep. I bump my head into the window, and he could hear that somebody's bumping head onto the window, and then you bump one time, and then you bump another time, and then he hears that, and he says, "What a miserable meditation! Just go to bed. Why you are like just forcing yourself. I said, okay, thank you. I go to bed. So of course I meditated since that age. But praying means, in some sense, what I mean by praying is asking for something. Help me to find a job, help me to find this or do that. That kind of prayer, I did not do much. So somehow I did not feel so much in the need of some specific thing needed to happen. I did not feel so much need of some specific thing needed to happen in my life. I felt whatever things needed to happen in my life, they happened in my life. And sometimes more than what I expected happened in my life. I'm very grateful of my life, the flow of my life. So I did not pray that way. But sometimes I do prayer like for others, that for my family, for my child, for a student who is sick. I pray for others, people, and when I teach, and when I in the middle of the retreat and right in the beginning of the retreat, I keep very simple prayer. I said, I am starting this morning, like even in the Facebook, I am starting with my best ability of my good intention, giving all my time, energy, and all the time and energy of my students, other people helping me to do this wonderful social work. I consider this, and may this benefit to everybody who is listening. May this heal them. May they understand easier. May they connect with that. May they apply the practice. Those who apply practice, may they realize something from this. And may they bring more sense of peace and joy and clarity and direction in their life. Those prayer I do. And I definitely believe by praying that it will bring more than anything. It's not me. And it's not like just what I have to say or I have to teach, or it's not my ego thing. My just simple prayer, may these teaching help. I believe so much that this has a power to help. So in that sense, I truly believe. And I said yesterday, I think it's kind of important reason, which I never thought of it before, is I thought it was interesting, but just came out, is the reason why prayer is important also. When we pray, I don't know if you remember, anybody, if you remember what I said about why prayer is important on last Tuesday, go ahead and write me. I'll see if you remember or not. Okay, so while you are writing, and what I will say is, what I said was that when we pray, we acknowledge there's something beyond me. When I'm praying, there's something beyond me. It's not what I prepared. I prepared pages, what I wanted to speak today. I got up 6 in the morning and read the questions, read the comments, and thought about what I should say today, and to kind of just have a little bit kind of preparation. None of those are really important. They are important, but not that important. But those are things that I prepare. And my conceptually, I think about it, reflect. I use my intelligence and my awareness. But something beyond that is not on my hand. There are enlightened beings. There are the universal force, wisdom. There is a collective connection. There is a collective intelligence. There's a lot of things out there. There are many unknown forces. So I'm praying to all of those, saying that I'm going beyond my ego. I'm praying, I'm accepting beyond me. I'm praying, whoever is out there, just, I trust all of you, help me. Inner refuge, help me. All the refuge tree, help me. All the guardians, angel protectors, help me. All the collective energy of the Cyber Sangha, help me. All the intelligence of the universe, help me. That is the prayer. Going beyond my ego, that's important. reaching out there for help. That's important. They said there was a study that people who were very stressed out, and in life, a lot of problems, a lot of pain, a lot of stress, and going through a lot of challenges. And people, of course, the stress is not good, but people who went out, seek for help, and give even moment when they are feeling challenges in their own life, when they went out and help others, these people, they did not die because of their stress, or their lifespan was much longer than people who just felt stress, who did not go out for ask for help, or neither they went to help others in those situations. So going out from that pain and ego, seeking help, and ability to do that, I think is very, very important for everybody. So the prayer has something very much to do with the transcending fear and ego and seeking higher support. So, okay, I think that's all for now. And I think we are running out of time this time. So I will, I think, end here. And thank you very much, everybody. And thank you very much, all the people who has been diligently participating, practicing, sharing beautiful comments, and inspiring other people, and sharing, opening your social media door for me, for us, and allowing to channel these teaching through your media friends, social friends, and kind of, you know, again, even that, I think it's what you're doing is a great help, because it's also, you know, you're not telling anybody to do anything, but everybody have option to do. So I think that have option to attend and listen. And I think it's just fantastic that I think again and again about the Facebook Live. It's so different from when you are in the set of the retreat, in the teaching, in the meeting with people, where you don't want people to walk in the room, you don't want people to walk out the room, you don't want people to talk too loud, you don't want people to sit in a particular respectful position, you don't want people to ask too many questions, you don't want to interfere the flow of the group. There's a lot of conditions when you are in a conference room or a retreat setting. Here is a free. It's a free. You sit the way you wanted to sit, ask what you want to ask, make comments what you wanted to do, drop in when you wanted to drop in, leave when you wanted to leave, come in when you wanted to come in. It's such this sense of freedom. Of course, I cannot drop in and out like you can, but I'm committed. And of course, I can drop anytime I wanted to do. So it's a wonderful experience, a lot of freedom here. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next Tuesday. So I will be, right now I'm in California, and then next week I will be traveling to Europe. So I will be a whole month in Europe, and in Paris, Vienna, Berlin, Amsterdam, Buhl, and yeah, so I look forward to seeing all the people who are attending those teachings, and we'll continue next Thursday, same time. Thank you very much.